As you can see, it's an exact likeness of Bill Murray. Actually, I don't think they even have the hair correct. It's close to Bill Murray's hair, but yeah, not exactly. So let's take a closer look at the Ghostbusters outfit. As you can see, it has his initials there, PV, on his chest. And it has a belt and basically, just a regular Ghostbusters shirt. It's actually pretty nice. And of course, you have to have the proton pack. As you can see, it's really kind of cool the way they did it. I kind of wish there was more to it besides just the disc with the graphics on it. But, if they made it too big, then the figure itself wouldn't stand up. As it is, it's a little difficult to get this guy to stand up without completely falling over. On the side of the proton pack, you can see that his blaster fits in a small holder, which you can just pull out and then put it into his hand. And it's attached to a cord that goes into this thing here. Right now, Peter is holding a walkie-talkie, which I thought was really cool that they came with because, they do use them in the movie. And I've always loved the Lego walkie-talkies. I don't know, there was just something to them that I just think is such a great, simple design for the walkie-talkies on the Legos. The one thing I was not expecting on these figures were two different faces. You have this expression, then you have the, oh my god, I just saw a ghost expression. So, it's kind of cool that you can change off his expression on his face. And it's easy to change his expression. You just pop his hair off and turn his head around, and then you have the different expressions. And each one of the Ghostbusters comes with that. It's really awesome. As to how the backpacks stay on, there's a simple peg here on their backs, and you basically just press them in, and they stay on. So all the other Ghostbuster characters are designed exactly the same, except for their names on their shirts, and their faces, of course. This is Ray's scared face, and Ray's very happy face. Egon's regular face, and his holy crap face. Winston's regular face, and his what have I gotten myself into face. And I have Winston holding the ghost trap, and I kind of wish there was a little bit more to it than just the two Legos snapped together. But it works. One really cool thing that comes with the Ghostbusters is a stand for all of them to be displayed on. It has yellow and black stripes all around the outside of it, and of course the classic Ghostbusters logo right in the center. They also look fantastic standing on it. Here's just another shot of all their backpacks in a row, just to show you that they are all exactly the same. So there you go. Those are the Ghostbusters. And now on to the Ecto-1. So here's the Ecto-1 Lego version. I absolutely love the fact that they have the Ecto-1 license plate. The whole front of the car is just awesome. I love the lights, the bumper, the grille, everything. And if you take off the hood, you reveal the motor of the Ecto-1. So check out that. There it is, the motor. Well, actually it's not much of a motor, but still it's kind of cool that it's there. So on the side you have an extra light, and you actually even have the mirror. All the windows are slightly tinted, but you can still see through them. The sides are really smooth. I like the design there. And of course you have the classic Ghostbusters symbol on the door. Over on the driver's side, you have these blue hoses that go up and sort of disappear into the top. I'm sure there's probably a name for them, but I have no idea what it is. I really love the back of this car, how they did the fins and then the half wheel. And of course on the very back you have the Ecto-1 license plate again and the Ghostbusters symbol. So the passenger side is pretty much identical to the driver's side except for a few things. Like over here you actually have the antenna, which is basically just held on by this clip. One thing I found cool is for the front windshield, it actually has the windshield wipers that will go up and down. Alright, so let's get to all the cool stuff. The roof, as you can see, is just a complicated mass of machinery, just like the real Ecto-1. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on up here. You actually have a ladder to get up there on the side, and the ladder itself does move, but it's very fragile. If you barely touch it, it does like to pop off on there. And attached to the ladder is a cool radar dish. I have no idea what this green thing is, but it's really cool. There's a ton of lights and sirens on it too. One thing about Legos is they're obviously really fragile, so if you touch one thing, it'll just fall apart in your hands. However, this Ecto-1 is a pretty solid build. I mean, there are a few things here on the roof that if you do touch, they'll just fall off. But overall, it's actually a pretty solid build. Okay, so a quick look at the bottom of the Ecto-1. As you can see, the wheels are really wide, and they're really actually pretty nice. And the bottom of it does have an really interesting design to it. Alright, so cool car and all, right? So your question is, how do the Ghostbusters actually get into the car? Is there any doors? Do they go through the windows? Is there any trap doors? Actually, the only way the Ghostbusters can get into the Ecto-1 is through the roof. Basically, you have to pull this tubing out here, and it is one piece of tubing, by the way, and you have to carefully take the roof off. Just like that. And so you can see the inside. There's a small computer here on one side, and a steering wheel, and that's pretty much all there is to the inside. On the back, there is an area to put their backpacks, but I don't think all three would fit back there. The windows do move up and down, but I'm not really sure if that serves any kind of purpose at all. As to how many Ghostbusters can actually fit in the car, well, I can only get 3 in there. And it's a real close fit, as you can see. They pretty much had to sit right on top of each other. In the back of the Ecto-1, there's only room for 1 proton pack. In all, this is a great representation of the Ecto-1 in Lego form. The car itself is a really solid build. You don't really have to worry about pieces falling off of it too much, except for the roof. The roof is very delicate. Pretty much anything you touch on there is going to come apart. Now the real question is, how hard was this thing to really build? I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. For me, it was kind of a complete nightmare. I'll admit, some of it was actually my fault for putting some wrong pieces in the wrong places, but the instructions were not that great. The overall design of the book is really cool. I love what they did with it. It has pictures from the Ghostbusters movie, and it actually tells you about the Ecto-1 and where it came from and what car it was and everything, and it's really well informative about the movie. It's mostly the color coding they used. Because of the black background, it's hard to tell what colors some of these Legos are supposed to actually be. Like this. That small Lego there, is that gray or is that black? You might be saying, oh well, that's black. But a lot of times it ends up being gray and I'm using the wrong color Legos. And one huge mistake I made, and I admit it is my fault, is when I saw this picture of the square Lego here, I thought you were supposed to put the black Legos all around it, because that's what it looks like to me. But they darkened the top of it so much and it wasn't necessary. So to me, it looked like those little black Legos you put all around there, but actually that's just the top of the thing. So I was missing all these black Legos through the entire build, and I couldn't figure out where they all went to because I put them in the wrong place. But again, that was my mistake. And again, like I said, the design of this is really cool because on every other page it shows a picture of one of the Ghostbusters and has a quote from the movie. And the full instructions are actually a whopping 105 pages. At the end of the instructions, it tells you who designed the Ecto-1 and who actually built it. So again, lots of really cool information in the instructions, but I just found them really sort of difficult to figure out sometimes. So let's bring up the old Figometer and see how the Ghostbusters and the Ecto-1 stacks up. There's nothing really here to complain about, except for sometimes the confusing instructions, but as for the build itself and the car, it's excellent. The Ghostbusters themselves are also fantastic, and it's really cool that they actually came with their own base. It's a nice touch. I've been a Ghostbusters fan since the day the movie came out, and it's really awesome to have an Ecto-1 made from Legos. It's definitely one of the coolest Lego sets I own. So in all, the Ecto-1 gets a 5